This is the moment that I've been waiting for more than 5 years. In-app purchases are finally easy to use. As you already know, implementing subscriptions, consumables, non-consumables is a headache for iOS or macOS apps. I'm Alex from Rebeloper.com, and today we are going to show you how easy it is to implement StoreKit 2 into your iOS projects. So without further ado, let's dive in. So let's learn how you can implement subscriptions, consumables, non-consumables into your iOS and macOS apps with the help of StoreKit Pro. And just so you know, StoreKit Pro is built on StoreKit 2, so it's the latest version of StoreKit. Go ahead and check out store.rebeloper.com/StoreKit Pro, that's with the minuses in between. Or you can just check the link in the description if you want a 50% off for the initial price. I do have 10 coupons for this, so first come, first serve, 50% off. Now, let me just talk a little bit about what StoreKit Pro can offer you. Basically, an in-app purchases on steroids, and you will actually love this. Just go ahead and check out the captions, the chapters right over here. You will absolutely love what StoreKit Pro has to offer in terms of in-app purchases. Let me just start off by saying that it has the most simple API. You can just purchase with one single line of code. After a little bit of setup, like two steps of two steps of setup, and then you can just purchase. No server core required. This is really important. With StoreKit 1 from Apple, you needed to set up a server for receipt verification and all of that stuff. With StoreKit Pro /StoreKit 2, you don't need that. Works both on iOS and macOS. Supports subscriptions, consumables, non-consumables, as I told you. Easy 3-step setup. You will see how easy it is to just set this thing up. Purchase only with one line of code. Supports widgets. So for example, if you have an in-app purchase in your widget, you can do that. Also, if you have promotions on App Store, you can just support that also. Handles virtual currency on the fly. Let's say you have these consumables, let's say coins. You want to consume them inside your app. You can also do that with the help of StoreKit Pro. You can test purchases within XCODE, and you will see this today. You will not have to set up anything on App Store Connect just yet. Of course, if you do want to have those in-app purchases live inside your App Store, inside your app, you do need to set those up inside App Store. But for testing purposes, you can use XCODE only. Also, new stuff, you can present and ask for a refund sheet and a managed subscription sheet inside your application. I bet you didn't know that already existed. StoreKit Pro uses the modern async await. You know, I'm really in love with async await, built on Swift 5.6 and StoreKit Pro. Example XCODE project. This is what we are going to cover today, and it's 100% documented. Everything documented inline, so you know what's going under the hood. So yeah, let's talk about this 2 steps. So step 1, you just set up your IDs actually for your in-app purchases, and then you just initialize StoreKit Pro, set it as an environment object, and then you just make your purchase. Couldn't that be easier? Yes. So just 3 steps and you are ready to go. And here we have some features that we will discuss today. We can give access to certain things. Of course, after the user made their purchases, you can grab the purchases or subscriptions. When I talk about purchases, they're almost always, I'm always talking about subscriptions also. So you can get info for purchases and subscriptions. You can consume the consumables. You can restore purchases, ask for refunds. So users may ask for refunds. They can manage their subscriptions inside their app. And here we have some macOS screenshots, because yes, it is also available for macOS and iOS screenshots. I'm just going to skip through these because we are going to talk about them today. 100% documented as usual, and the demo XCODE project. Okay, so let's just jump right into the demo XCODE project, and here it is. It's just a simple multi-platform project that I just started right over here. So it has iOS and macOS targets. Let me just take it there. So there we go. And first thing I did is I added in-app purchases as a capability for both of them, as you can see. And then on the app file itself, as you can see here, we have our content view. I just created the StoreKit Pro state object private variable and just set it as an environment object. So we will have this available throughout our app. Now on the content view, it's just plain simple. I'm just having a navigation link which will point to the store view. Now you don't have to use the store view. Actually the store view is kind of an example, so you can implement your own store or whatever logic you have for your in-app purchases inside your app. But store view is a really good way to learn how StoreKit Pro works. And it's under the views, store view, and there is also a product view and an access view. We will talk about these three in depth in just a moment. Now, furthermore, you need to configure your in-app purchases, and that's really easy. So first of all, you need to add in here your product IDs inside this struct. Do not rename the struct, of course, because StoreKit Pro uses that. And also, if you are having auto-renewables and with a subscription group, do not remove these items either. You may change the values here. It depends on you, but make sure that you do not remove them. And let's take a little bit for a deeper look what we have here. So we have a coin. So this is a consumable, and usually, and you will see how we are building this is also inside these comments. You just go and your developer name, so-called the project name, and then you just go .consumable.coin. So this is kind of how you want to build these IDs out, because StoreKit Pro uses this kind of structure for the IDs. And of course we have a non-consumable, so that would be a sword. And then we have these auto-renewable subscriptions. Now, as you can see, the auto-renewable is just auto-renewable. And then you want to have a group name. And if you are familiar with App Store Connect setting up subscriptions, then you will know that you need to specify a certain group for your auto-renewables, and that is membership. And that's why it's also added here in the subscription group. Again, it's used by StoreKit Pro. So we have a Pro and an Ultra membership right over here. So that's one place that you want to set them up. And the next part is that you want to add these into the products plist file. Again, just copy and paste all of them right over here. The order doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure that you are adding here all of them. And finally, you want to create your products. Now, this it's not required. You can just leave this as is. If you are going to push this onto live mode, then this is basically for testing purposes only. This is what I was talking about when I said that you can test the in-app purchases inside your XCODE project. And you can see we created a sword right over here, just added the product ID, some price, localization, the coin, the same goes for that. And then we created an auto-renewable subscription called memberships, and then a Pro and an Ultra right over here. And you can just tap on plus right over here, and you will see the options that you can add in here for in-app purchases. And that's all about IDs. As you can see, it's really straightforward. Next up, we want to set up some StoreKit Pro stuff. And first of all, we have our config file, and this is used by XCODE for the default. First of all, we have the configs file right over here. It's called products. It's this one. So, the config file. So right over here. Do not rename this. If you will rename this, then make sure that you are also renaming the string right over here inside the config file. Now, if you are using widgets or app groups for that matter, then you want to add your app group bundle ID right over here. If not, then just leave it to nil. Finally, we have our OS log category name. You may change this, you don't have to. This is for the console when you are logging, and you will see a lot of really nice handy logs so you know what's going on under the hood. And then we have a purchase product fallback key. This is for user defaults when we are saving consumables and stuff. So basically you can just leave this as is, only change this if you really need to. So finally, let's go into the store view. So store view is a really large file, and we are going to talk about this in this tutorial. So let's start off with the easiest one, and that's the access view. So on the access view, we have some text right over here and a button that will dismiss. So it will say hello membership or hello pro, hello ultra. This is used when you are giving access to something, and you will see that on the store view. So yeah, you would just need to have some sort of a view that user can access when they purchase some sort of any purchases. And then we have our product view right over here. This is basically an information kind of view for your product. You will see that inside the app shortly, basically displaying all sorts of information about this particular product. As you can see, we are providing the product right over here. So let's build and run and see how this looks on iOS. And then we can just go and take a look at the store view. As you can see, the store view, we are going to navigate to it. I just put it in here because on the macOS part, it's easier to have that UI set up. So we have the actual content view right over here. With the navigation link, we are going to the store view. And let's just go through these. So the products, here are the list of product views, as I told in just a moment ago. So we have the name, the description, non-consumable, so the type of your in-app purchases, the price, is it purchased? So if we have this X right over here, it's not purchased. On the coin, we may have also as an information not purchased. This is the short info for this purchase. And then we have these auto-renewable subscriptions. And yeah, you will be able to take a look at how we can actually provide all of this info inside the product view when you make your purchase, of course, from our store. So let me just give you an overview of how this works. First of all, we have purchases, and then after we make our purchases, we will have some access. Here I'm just going to demonstrate what kind of info we can get from those in-app purchases. Then if a purchase has been made, we may ask for a refund. Also for the consumables, we may consume a coin, we may reset all of the consumables, and here is a nice count for our consumable. We may restore purchases. It's not really required, but yeah, if you do want to incorporate this button into your app, then you can do that right over here. And then we may manage subscriptions if we already purchased some subscriptions. So let's take a look at the, let's say, the non-consumable. Let's tap on non-consumable, and as you can see, it's just presenting us with the sandbox environment. So it's in XCODE, and you can see the details is for testing purposes only, and so forth. So yes. And furthermore, just notice that we have here our progress view. So we have this little progress. And then if we tap on cancel, this progress view will just display that, okay, it wasn't canceled. And it was canceled, so we didn't purchase anything. And you will be able to take a look at this purchase state. When we are going to take a look at the code, it will be obvious. The purchase state will be presented right over here. Of course, you may display an alert if that suits your needs. So let's make our purchase. So let's purchase right over here because we are inside XCODE and we are using the products list that we just created. Okay, that will be successful. So tapping on OK right over here, you can see now the purchase state is with a check mark. So all of that is ticked. And let's just scroll a little bit down and then all the way up, because this product view is refreshing on appear. So now you can see that it says purchased and the date of that, and the X mark right over there changed into a check mark. So that's our non-consumable, and you can have as many non-consumables, of course, as many as you'd like. So now let's access that non-consumable. So if we tap on there, you see, now it is presented. Let's just dismiss that. Just for fun, let's just check if Auto-Renewable Pro or Ultra or the membership. So if I'm tapping on it, nothing happens. That's of course because we didn't purchase it. So it works really nice. Let's take a look at the info. So if we tap on info, you most probably saw that we have this short information, so purchased at, and that's what I'm using on the product view all the way up there. And then we have an extended purchase info. So there's quite a lot in here what you can use for display for your users. For example, is purchased or the product type or the purchase price, all of that stuff you can get from here. Okay, so let's go back to our simulator, and now we can just go and refund this. So if we tap on there, yes, it says you cannot request refunds from the simulator. You must use the sandbox environment. Of course, if you just run this on a real device, you will actually see this view. Let's just see. There we go. This. So requested refund, and you just choose developer, issue, or other, and just request a refund. Okay. So I believe also for the subscriptions, we cannot do that inside our simulator. We will see that. Yeah, let's just see that, how it goes. Okay, so now let's go back to XCODE and then the simulator, and let's purchase some other stuff. So maybe let's just have a consumable. So there we go. We can pay for that 1 coin. Let's just wait for that. Okay, and now you will see all the way down here under consume that the count is set to 1. Also, if we scroll all the way up, now we can see that this is purchased. So let's just do that again. Let's purchase another coin. Let's just purchase that, and maybe another one. Okay, and then finally our third coin has been purchased. Okay, now let's just scroll all the way down and see that we have a count of 3. Now we can consume those coins. So let's consume 1. If I tap right over here, you can see automatically it's just consumed 1. Also, we can reset the consumables. So maybe this is most probably for debug purposes only. But yeah, you can just tap on here and it's just going to wipe that out. All of the consumables count are set up or are stored in keychains, so nobody will be able to kind of tinker with that. So it's in a safe place. Also, let's just see, we can have our info from there. Of course, now that we have removed that, is purchased is false, so we don't have anything. The same goes as with non-consumables. Also, we can refund, and yeah, basically that's it for consumables. It's really hard to manage consumables, but with StoreKit Pro, it's a breeze. Now let's take a look at auto-renewable subscriptions, because that is where we are heading with these new kind of apps. That is what Apple is pushing really hard. First thing that comes to mind is to just purchase the Pro version of our auto-renewable subscriptions. So let's just tap on there and let's just subscribe. Okay, and yeah, let's just go a little bit down and then up, and you will see that on the Pro version, again, this is populated on the on appear, so that's why I needed to scroll away. As you can see, it's subscribed and used in 31 days, and here is the price per month, and now we have this nice check mark right over here, and now we can access that. So let's just go Auto-Renewable Pro. There we go. Hello Pro. And also on the membership side, so maybe you have multiple, like we have Pro and Ultra, and then you can just have a membership for all of your groups. It depends on your logic on your app, but yeah, if the Pro was purchased, then the membership will also be available. Also the Ultra, as you can see, nothing for the Ultra, as it should be. For the Pro, we have access to that. And also for the information, there will be a lot of information right over there for our short information and extended information. Okay, Also, we can have a refund. Let's see if I tap on the refund. Yeah, it's of course, because we are not inside the we are inside the simulator, it will not work. Okay, so let's just build and run again, and let's scroll all the way down. We're not going to consume with auto-renewable subscriptions. Let's manage our subscriptions. And yes, again, we are inside the simulator, so it will not work. I will just show you a screenshot from my device right over here. We will be presented with this added subscription sheet where you can just change your Pro and Ultra, cancel your subscriptions within your app. So that is really, really powerful. Okay, now that's it for subscriptions. And let's see, is there anything else? Of course, we may purchase the Ultra also. So let's just upgrade to the Ultra. Let's subscribe to that. And now we should be able to access the Ultra also. Okay, so that's fine. Really, really nice. Also the membership. Okay, so that is what we are. Those are the use cases that you can have with in-app purchases. Let me just show you how this looks like on the macOS part. I'm not going to dive deep into the macOS project right over here because it's the same thing. But as you can see, we have our products, our purchase pane where we can just purchase all of our in-app purchases, access, info, refund, consume, and restore. Now, with the refund, we will be presented from the macOS app. We will be taken to the website for the refunds where you can just request a refund. So it's not inside the app. And we actually don't have a subscription manager sheet on the macOS part, but otherwise it looks just the same as on iOS, and it of course behaves the same. Now let's take a look at the code, and you can just go to the store view and take a look at all of the implementation. What I would like to highlight right over here is that, of course, you have StoreKit Pro, and then you just access it as an environment object, and then you have this purchase state, and it's unknown. All of these are, of course, helpers for the whole project, and you will see why these are where these are used. Let's just start off with StoreKit Pros can make payments. So if it cannot make payments, we want to show the cannot make payments view. And this is just a text, cannot make payments, and with some style. Now, if the StoreKit Pro has products, so we did fetch some products, we are going to display them inside the list as you ordered. So otherwise, we will present the no products available, and again, this is text that it's going to display, okay, an error occurred, maybe retry later. So retry App Store, and its use is StoreKit Pros refresh product from App Store. This is kind of a handy way to just refresh if, let's say, there was no internet connection when we try to fetch all of our products. Finally, we have this list that has the ask for refund sheet. Of course, this is only going to work on iOS, but yeah, you just add the ask for refund model that you created right over here, and the private state variable is ask for refund sheet presented. Okay, so what do we have here? We have sections, the product section, the purchase section, all of those sections that you already saw. So of course, you have all of this nice markup. So we marked actions and the views. These are the views for the sections, all of that stuff. I'm not going to go into the views because that's kind of arbitrary. Let's take a look at the actions, because this is where this is the interesting part. And all of them, as you can see, are asynchronous. So you are going to initialize them inside the task. So basically that's it. But you will have access to this file anyway. And we just go product provider, just insert the StoreKit Pro and the purchase state. It's really important to know the purchase state. So that's why we add both of them. And then just the purchase, the product ID. And the ID, of course, you set that up and just purchase one. It's one single line of code, as you can see. It's really, really straightforward. Now, is it purchased? Just try await because it might fail with an error and we have to wait for this. Just go StoreKit Pro is purchased, product ID. If there was an error or some sort of thing, then you just return with the false. So yeah, it's that simple to just check, is this purchased? Of course, with subscriptions, you just go subscription info for group product ID equals that product ID. That, of course, you just add in here. So it's a little bit more, it's a little bit different. You have to add in your group and your ID, but again, it's just one single line of code. Also, this was for Pro or Ultra, so you are specifically asking for an ID, so for that subscription. If you're just wondering if we are subscribed to that group, just go subscription info for group not equals nil. So if it doesn't equal nil, so we do have a subscription info, then we are subscribed to that group. It's really, really straightforward. And then, of course, we can get the purchase info, and with the purchase info provider, again, we are using StoreKit Pro. We always want to add the StoreKit Pro right over there. And we have our short info and our extended info printed out right over here. As you can see, it's just using the ID. It's really, really straightforward. The same goes for our subscription info. Consuming, it's again really, really easy. Just go StoreKit Pro, consume the ID, and I'm just going to grab the product ID's coin from here, which we already set it up, and it's going to give us back a true or false. Could we consume or not? If we did consume, we are going to fetch the consumable count. Now, how do we do that? Again, StoreKit Pro, consumable count for product IDs .coin. So you just add in your consumables ID. Reset consumables, it's even easier. StoreKit Pro reset consumables, and after that, again, you want to fetch the consumable count, so you update the UI. Restore purchases, it's again one single line of code. As you can see, it's really, really straightforward. I try to minimize this as far as possible. So StoreKit Pro restore purchases. This will throw an error optionally, so you want to catch that and just present that to your user if you want to do that. And that's it. So those are all the functionalities. Of course, here we have our sections, so you might want to take a look at that, how I'm just presenting this inside the view, but basically, that's it. So it's really, really straightforward. It's really easy to understand, and it's really easy to use. Again, let me just show you where that is. It is at store.rebeloper.com. StoreKit minus store minus kit minus pro. So StoreKit Pro with those minuses in between. If you do want to have a 50% off on your purchase, go ahead and check out the link in the description where you will have a promo code right over there. And if you do want to learn more about SwiftUI navigation like a pro, then you can check out this video right over here.